Ms. Legalista here. Thank you for joining the video. Now, I've talked about mortgage fraud before, these fake deeds. I've talked about Graceland and how there was this fake mortgage that was supposedly on Graceland, and these scammers tried to foreclose on the property. They tried to take Graceland. Think about that for a second. If they will go after Graceland, then they will go after anybody. So no one is immune from this. No one is immune. We're going to talk about a couple of different kinds of real estate fraud in this video. I want you to hear what this reporter has to say. And then there is a clip at the end where they talk about what the government can do. This is something that you can check and see whether or not it's available in your county.
It could be the perfect house, the perfect property, but is it too good to be true? According to the FBI, its Internet Crime Complaint Center received more than 9,500 complaints about real estate-based fraud last year, adding up to more than $145 million in losses, more than the money lost to identity theft crimes. And while real estate internet crimes were down overall in 2023 compared to the previous 2 years, Ohio's top experts are warning against a rise in one particular type of fraud.
Okay, so let me stop before he announces these because I want to talk about the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. I'm going to drop that link in the description. Anytime you have experienced some sort of internet scam or fraud, you can actually go to this website, this FBI website, and upload your information there so that they can check it out. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be able to get to you. Just think about how many people you are in line behind, but it's helpful for them to be able to track what's going on and to get this information back out to us, consumers, people, residents, so that we know how best to protect ourselves.
Fake real estate listings that could involve trying to sell a property owned by somebody else or forging documents to transfer a deed to somebody else. News 5's Clay Lepard examines just how easily that can be done.
Okay, listings and deeds.
It's a property not worth a second glance. 5 undeveloped acres in Lorain County that attorney Christina Hronik was in charge of selling after the death of her client in October 2020.
The gentleman passed away without a will.
The courts take time, and when she got around to it, she noticed the owner had actually sold the property, valued at $120,000, for only $20,000. The problem was his signature was dated more than 6 months after he died.
It was
okay. This is what happens all the time. This is how scammers get tripped up. They think they're so smart, they're so greedy, and they're trying to get things so fast. This is the evidence right here. And let me tell you, back with the Graceland one, it was the notary. There is always something that you're not going to be able to catch because what you're doing is a lie. And something is going to trip you up. With Graceland, they had used this notary, used that to say, yes, this was a real mortgage that was taken out on this property. And guess what? The notary signed an affidavit saying, no, I never notarized that. So then your whole scheme falls apart. Look at this. You've got the date of death, October 19th, 2020. Now, unless this person is coming back up from the grave, this person is not signing something over May 24th, 2021. So the question then becomes, who signed this document if this person is no longer with us? Well, again, here's your evidence right here that something very wrong is going on.
clear fraud, clear as day. 6
Clear.
months after he died, somebody created a deed, forged his name, got it notarized, recorded it with Lorain County Recorder, and he was no longer entitled.
Hronik says that property was in the process of being sold again to someone else, but they were able to stop it to prove who really owned it.
It is a very scary thing.
Daphne Hawk runs the Ohio Division of Real Estate and Professional Licensing and says they're seeing more cases of this, rushed real estate listings that aren't properly vetted by agents or notaries, only to learn that the owner isn't the one selling it.
So here's another thing, if you are a buyer, you are now more likely in a position where you are going to be hiring a buyer's agent to represent you. Rules change. We had a big lawsuit. I'm not going to get into that here, But now we're moving to the situation where the seller is going to have the seller's agent and the buyer, hey, go out, get your own agent. Your agent needs to be doing due diligence on these properties, not depending on whatever information that the seller put in the listing. The buyer's agent is the person that you are hiring to represent you. So they should be looking out for your interests because guess what? You are paying them. And so there's going to be a higher expectation that they vet this information and not simply just take it as being truthful just because a listing agent put it out there and just because the seller gave it to the listing agent to put out there.
Most likely target of these scams are individuals who own their property free and clear. There's not a mortgage on it. And the other thing is they're often seniors.
From what you've seen, is it hard to do?
No.
So what can be done? What can you as a homeowner do about it? You can sign up for property fraud alerts, where the county recorder will notify you if anything with your name comes through their offices. For attorney Christina Hronik, she would love to see security taken one step further.
It's another form of identity theft, is basically what it is.
By requiring an attorney to act as the notary in real estate transfers.
All attorneys are notaries. Okay. And so therefore, if I am going to be notarizing something for someone who I don't know, I'm definitely getting ID. If an attorney is involved in fraud, they're going to lose their license to practice.
So let me stop here for a second because I do want to clear up something that she said. Now, we are in different states, and so there are different requirements. In the state that I'm in, an attorney is not automatically a notary. Nobody's automatically a notary. You're going to have to jump through some hoops here. Well, I don't want to say nobody, but attorneys have to jump through hoops too. They also have to fill out a form. They might not have to take the course. They might not have to do some other things, but they still have to go through the North Carolina Secretary of State's office to get their notary certificate. They just can't be out here notarizing and using a notary stamp to say that this person is who they are. Okay, there might be some other processes that they can use, but it's not going to be that. So check the requirements in your state. Check the requirements in your state before you decide whether or not you're going to use this notary or that notary. Look them up. Most states have a directory online where you can double check and see if someone is actually a notary. I know this is a lot. There are all of these steps now that you have to check and do. You have to do your due diligence. If you are going to be spending $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on a house, why would you not take a few minutes to go online, put in this person's information and make sure that they are a notary? As an attorney, I feel a whole lot of responsibility. And there are some things sometimes I'm just like, okay, so let me verify this and I'll get back to you, because you never know who's calling you. You never know what their angle is. And it's really hard to vet people when they're just calling you over the phone. So you do have to do your due diligence. And sometimes when people are calling me and telling me something, I'm literally Googling them and typing it in and checking LinkedIn and trying to verify, is this person who they say they are? And when it comes to property records and transfers, there are some cases I don't even touch. They literally have to be coming to me from a legitimate source before I will even work with them. Some of these nebulous people calling and asking if I do real estate, I say no. There's just too much fraud going on now.
And I know most attorneys would not risk that.
$7,000 and 6 months later, Hronik says they were able to recover this property and ultimately sell it themselves. A luxury she says not everyone has.
If it happens, hope you have the money to fix it.
This piece about signing up your property for alerts with your county. Now I'm going to have to go back and do some more research on that. We've talked about getting the the property title protection where they notify you. That's something that you spend money on, but I definitely want to do another video on this company or whoever that they had up here so we can learn a little bit more about them. Because if the government is going to be sending out property alerts and this is something you can sign up for, then that is a great thing. but I have the feeling this may be going through a middleman company, and that's what you're signing up for. So I'm going to have to do my research on this and get back to you so that we can know exactly what your options are. But it would be great if every county said, hey, when something's recorded against your title, you're going to get some sort of notification that this has occurred. Just like I talk about those bank alerts that you can sign up for, text alerts. Every time there's a transaction over a certain amount, you get an email, you get a text, you get some sort of notification so that you know what's going on.
Man, oh man, just last week, Senate Bill 94 passed in the Ohio House and the Senate. It still awaits a signature from the governor, but would allow for a county recorder's office to accept digital documents. Real estate experts say this could make forgery more difficult than simply walking into a courthouse with signed documents.
So I guess I'm not truly following what that process is going to be, because to me that sounds like that's going to be even easier if somebody can just open an account and upload a fake document instead of now having to go over to the county, show up. I don't know. They both sound really easy to me in terms of the fact that people can just do this and we don't have any sort of second look at this to make sure that this is not fraud. And that's why it's on us as owners to make sure we're doing our due diligence and staying on top of what's going on with our property. But there you go. Again, if this has provided you with more information than you need, and you're thinking to yourself, I am about tired of your videos because now I'm just worried all the time about losing my whole life savings, my house, my savings for my kids' college funds, and my retirement listening to you. But again, we're just going to take this piece by piece. It's like eating an elephant. You eat it one bite at a time. So if you can just think about that one action you're going to take this week, or that one action you're going to take this month, and every month you just continually try to find ways to protect your personal information, your financial information, find ways to keep these hackers out as best you can, because that's never 100% foolproof. If you can just take one bite at a time, then you can increase the level of protection that you have. All right, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hopefully this provided you with some helpful information that you can use. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.